Okay, so now let's talk about mixing live streams. So there are a couple options. Most of the solutions are going to be software based. However, some of them, there are a couple of new online based live broadcasting options. So what does that mean? Basically, if we, let me bring up my two up here. Okay. Ecamm is one option. I have not used this one, but this one seems actually has a lot of features and is very, very interesting. So it's a online broadcasting studio. So you just load up the website. You don't have to download any software, but it does a lot of things that broadcasting software like Wirecast that I'm using does. You can load in videos. You can add in overlays. It can connect with some of the streaming platforms like Facebook Live and YouTube Live to bring in comments and reactions and chats. As you can see here, you can connect it with Skype, and so you can do sort of a moderated panel thing. And so, yeah, it just seems, I've not used it, but it seems like it has a lot of really good features and is very affordable. And so that is one online option, so software-free option. Another one that I've used that it was pretty good, slightly basic in its features, but very simple to use is Be.Live. And so as you can see here, it's another website-based platform where you can curate your live stream and add some titles and add a couple of speakers. I don't believe Be.Live lets you pull in outside files. So if you're doing any pre-recorded speakers and stuff like that, I don't think Be.Live will be able to do that. But Ecamm does seem to be able to do that. I'm not sure if there's any limits or anything. Moving on from online-based options to software-based options, so something that you download. The main one that is free and extremely popular is OBS, Open Broadcaster Software. So this is completely free, works on Mac and PC. And the downside is it's not as user-friendly. Takes a little bit of getting used to figure out how it works. It's extremely powerful. You can do a lot of stuff with it. It's just, it doesn't have as many templates, doesn't have as many drag and drop type features that you're going to find in the paid software options out there. But it's free. A lot of people use it. It's really good. A couple of other software options. So now I'm a Mac user, and there are way less options for Mac users. They're mostly PC options. A lot of the streaming software is targeted for gamers and gaming streaming, and so that's much more of a PC world. vMix is an option. I'm just going to mention these off, and these will all be linked in the show notes, either in the description here below or also on the website. XSplit, another PC-only option, but another popular option. VidBlasterX, and let's see. Oh, Wirecast. Sorry, I was looking at my notes simultaneously. Okay, so Wirecast is very cool. I am a big fan of it. So as I showed, it's got tons of ways you could bring in multiple feeds. And when I say that, it has a feature called Rendezvous, where you just send a link to another person, and it's as simple as basically like a Zoom chat. And they just click the link and it loads up. They can either load it up on their phone, on their computer, and then on your end as like the Wirecast broadcaster and host, it just appears as another camera source. So it's super simple, and you can just manipulate that camera source however you want. You see the layout I have now, where I have my screen cropped on the side and the computer screen up. So imagine a 2x2 or a whole, like a news broadcast where you have 4 people talking or 4 people displayed up at once. All of that control, all of that flexibility you can do in Wirecast. It has titles, it has a media library with backgrounds and effects. It has, it's got a lot of control. There's a couple things I kind of wish it did do. And with all of its templates, while it does have a lot of templates, their design is a bit dated. So you gotta do some finessing or search on your own to get some other designs, like this background that I've got up right now I made. I didn't really like their backgrounds. The other very cool thing that I like about Wirecast is it has an option to turn on a virtual camera. And what that means is the broadcast that you're making in Wirecast. And so normally, like right now I'm streaming to YouTube, I'm also recording this feed onto my computer. And so normally you broadcast it out to wherever on the internet, but it also has a virtual camera option. And basically that turns your Wirecast feed into a virtual web camera. So I can take all the stuff that I'm doing in Wirecast and I can send that out as a webcam. And why would that be important? If I was then hosting something on Zoom, but I wanted to have more of a professional look on the hosting end of Zoom, I can mix it all into Wirecast and then send that feed out to Zoom. And so on Zoom, it's now a much more streamlined and a much nicer looking presentation that I'm sending out to Zoom and all the participants that are watching it. So that's another very cool feature with Wirecast that I don't believe the other software options can do. Yeah, tons of other features here. I'm not going to really go through all the Wirecast stuff, but it definitely has some of that most control over what you can do. Okay, so those are most of the software options. There is a sort of another one, but has an asterisk to it. That's Studio 6 from Vimeo/Livestream. I'll talk about that in a sec, because the only way you can use that software is if you are streaming on Vimeo and pay for their streaming platform. So you can't really buy that software alone and use it alone. So I'm not really going to mention it in this software groupings. All right, now let's talk about live streaming platforms.